Oh, you did? Oh, cool. No, my nicotine use is on camera. Oh no.
Is there a trash can I can?
Yeah, I can take it from you.
Oh, dude, it's in my mouth. I don't want you.
Here, take this for me.
I've had to take gum out of people's mouths.
Yo, what
not
the fuck?
not like take it like because like we set up everything and then it's just like it's hard if they get up.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just take it and then be good.
Let me figure out. There's 2 headsets under here.
How do you guys know each other?
Literally found him off of Peerspace. I think I have your. If you want to grab under the table.
What am I grabbing? Oh, those headphones.
Headphones. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Those are over there. Yeah, dude. I literally was like looking around because I was like, shit, I want to like film podcast and like I don't have like the energy or know how to try and figure out how to do it. So I was like, fuck it. Let me find somewhere that's just like full stop.
Yeah.
Yo, what the fuck?
Outsourcing is a good idea for sure.
Can I? Oh, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, I don't want to break them, but like, this seems really fucked up.
No, I went through the same thought process.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, that Neanderthal strength will kick in real fast,
dude. Exactly.
Yeah.
My fucking girlfriend was making fun of me because I straight up ripped off the handle to my freezer.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, it's like one of those like little chest things, and I just like grabbed it and yanked it and just snapped right off. And it was just sitting in the corner. She was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, I grabbed it and I don't want to fix it. I don't know.
You look like you'd be fucking freakishly strong. I haven't trained with you, so I don't know.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm freakishly strong because I'm big, but like I'll train like Brady or someone where he's like 160, but like Brady will grab a hold of me and I'm like, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like he's got some weird strength. You know Michael Kravetsky from Odyssey? He'll train with Sean.
Yeah. I haven't rolled with him yet, but he grabbed me one time to like he was showing us something and I was like, oh, can I feel it? And he put it on, and I was like, damn, this motherfucker's strong as hell. I mean, he was like in the NFL or like collegiate football or something like that.
Yeah, probably played college football. I don't know exactly what he did.
He looks like he should have played football.
He told me one time, he was like, I'm the smallest man in my family.
That's scary.
I was like, that, and also he sends me memes all the time that say, I'm going to touch you. Like all of these fucked up memes on my Instagram, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this coming from you because a lot of people, I'm like, okay, I can fight back.
Yeah, exactly. He's so big. He hits you with that dark humor. You're like, I don't know.
Like, I hope it's just humor. Like, please don't have this get serious. Fucking Sean Strickland, he's like, yeah, I grapple. So, or no, Justin Gaethje, he's like, I grapple. So if 2 dudes try and grab me, I can fight back.
If one man can hold you, 2 can fuck you. Yeah,
that's bad. That's bad for business.
Yeah,
bad. Well, probably bad for the mental health.
But, yeah, good for a prostate doctor, maybe.
God damn.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That just makes it better. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like he starts getting everything set up. He said it was starting a minute ago. So
gotcha.
It's okay. We'll keep all the fucked up clips in here. Brady made a bunch of 9/11 jokes. Like it's
nice. I approve.
It just gets more and more.
I love when white people are like really like into 9/11 being an inside job. Yeah. It almost takes the pressure off my shoulders of like, oh, thank God you don't think like I did it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think it's an inside job.
Thank you. Is that why you're friends with me?
Yes. The only reason. If I didn't, this would not be happening. There would be no podcast. No, it's. I feel like the general sentiment is now that more people are starting to think that some fuckery happened.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was going to say, just goes back to taking the pressure off.
Great for us. Dude, you know who I really feel bad for is the Sikhs. You know what a Sikh is?
Yeah, one of my good friends is Sikh.
Okay, cool. So they look super Muslim. Like they have like the turban and all that stuff. And like after 9/11, I'm sorry for laughing about it, but after 9/11, there was like an increase of hate crime towards like Middle Eastern people and like Muslim looking people. But like they got it the worst for sure. And because they look super Muslim. Like, okay, if they sat next to me on a plane, I'm Middle Eastern and Muslim, and I'd be a little nervous. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
why is this guy got a turban on? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. And like, I couldn't imagine just being like a country white dude from like bumfuck nowhere, and you see this guy, and you're like, oh my God. And all you do is watch like the news.
One of them.
That's one of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's got to be, I sympathize. I empathize with the old racist white man.
But handshake emoji.
Yeah. But it's kind of fucked too, because they're like not even Muslim. They're not even like close to Muslim. I think
they're so far from it.
They're so far from it, but they look very Muslim. So sorry for the Sikhs, but you took one for us. I appreciate it.
That's just being a good team player.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Exactly.
They're like, I guess we say that now too. Fuck it.
It's so funny because you've seen such a pivot for it. Now there's like this like glamorization of all those Chechen dudes because of MMA, and like people are watching videos of Hamzat like screaming. He's like, God willing, you give me rifles, send me to Gaza. Exactly. He's screaming Allahu Akbar in the
it's
in
cool
the tunnel,
nowadays.
and now everyone's like, fuck yeah, I want to go to Chechnya and be Muslim.
Bullshit. I hate
but like 20 years ago, it was like that was a hate crime waiting to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, where was this glamorization when I was a kid growing up?
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh shit. Okay, I thought you were. I don't know why I thought you were 30 or 31.
I look like I'm 50. I've aged through jiu-jitsu and being Middle Eastern. We age like sour milk on the fucking sidewalk. Yeah, my people, we don't last long.
Where are you from? Like, where's your family from?
We were all born in Iraq.
Okay.
And then
you were born in Iraq?
I was born there, yes. And
holy shit.
Yeah, I know, right? But I came here when I was 3, so I'm super Americanized. But
still.
Yeah, like we were born in Iraq, and then we went to Turkey, and then we like in Istanbul. And then we went to America at 3.
God damn. So you were what, born in 95?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then 98 is when we came to America, and like the 90s era is like kind of like where the Gulf War was happening. And then after that, when we came to America, so we got sponsored by a church in Cartersville where it came as like refugees. And then a church sponsored us in Cartersville and gave us a house.
Holy shit.
That's that was 98.
Bro, you got out.
I know.
You got out. Perfect time.
Yeah, a few years later, they're like, nah, we're full, dude. We can't take you.
Oh, my God.
Right in September, they're like, no.
Dude, y'all beat the fucking clock by 3 years.
Yeah. Thankfully, we fled early enough. But... Yeah, I always thought about that as like we got super lucky. And like it was just all very like random, I guess. It's like have you ever heard the theory of random? Side note?
No.
The theory of like what is random is like it's our inability to calculate what like that result was, like how it, because like especially dudes, it's like something happens, your brain logically kind of works backwards. You're like, how did that happen? It's like, let's say some guy from like some other activity like church or some skating rink, and then you go to some gym and then you see that guy there and you're like, oh dude, so random you're here. But like if you knew each other from this other scenario, like what are the chances that he also lives and has a similar life to you, and you guys run into each other at a different facet? It's actually not that random if you think about it. It's like, but we'll say random, that's a terrible example, but like it's just our inability to calculate. We just say random because our brain can't adjust it.
Yeah, because that in your brain probably doesn't want to be like, oh, I'm the
dumbest. Yeah.
Like, I'm just a member of this group. Dude, I met a guy in California one time, and we were sitting there talking, and he like owns a solar company. Like they do solar installs on roofs and stuff. Drives a Tesla, lived in like a nice apartment building, whatever, like dresses a certain way. He was like, I literally was parking my Tesla to charge at the station in my apartment complex. Another guy in a black Tesla got out of the car, dressed very similar, like in shape, like worked out. Both of them lived in like Orange County, and he was like, "Oh, I run like a home service." It was like a home services or like some other like niche type thing. And he was like, I sat there, and in that moment, I was like, "Oh, I am literally a marketing demographic."
Yeah,
like carbon copy. I am a marketing demographic.
Yeah, it's like that in all kinds of things. Even when I go to jiu-jitsu tournaments, and it's like I run into other people who like all they do is jiu-jitsu too. It's like, and just from different areas of like the world or the country or whatever. And you find out you have so much more in common with them than like you don't, you know what I mean? So like I've only had like maybe 1 or 2 people I've competed against like who like whether win or lose, it's like there was some weird like tension, but like almost everybody, like we're all super cool with each other, whether I win or lose. It's like very like respectful, and everyone's like, because we're all on the same like goal, like has the same mission. So like I feel like people can respect that, you know what I mean?
And too, jiu-jitsu attracts like there's a unique type of person you get. However you want to set it up. Yeah.
I just move around a lot.
Dude, I do too. I'm like way too fidgety.
Yeah, same.
It's like jiu-jitsu attracts like a weird type of person in a way where it's like everyone from whatever like strata of life you're in, like all has some screw that's loose. That's like, I personally enjoy trying to maim my friends a few nights a week. Like that's my idea of a good time.
Yeah, I think it's like part of it's like innate because like fighting is very innate. Like with humans and even like animals, like if you ever watch like cats fight or like bears fight, it's like they pull guard and like they headlock each other and like pin each other. It's like they're doing jiu-jitsu, or like our perception of what jiu-jitsu is rather. And it's like very innate, but I feel like socially, like people condition you to like not be aggressive. And I feel like people also like how we grow up, like boys naturally want to fight. Kids, like if you ever teach a kids class, kids want to fight. Like it's in their blood to want to wrestle. It's just like after a while, like socially, people are taught to not be aggressive. So it's kind of looked down upon. People like when I tell people I do jiu-jitsu, they almost like think I'm going to be super aggressive. But then like when they find out that I'm actually like this all the time, I'm just chilling all the time. It's like, I'm actually not aggressive at all. But it's like there's that social conditioning. And then also too, I think like the difficulty of it, because it is extremely difficult to like be held down and like someone sweating your eyeball for like an hour straight. You know what I mean? It's terrible, dude. But like you said, it takes that certain person to be like, oh, I failed at this. I need to come back and get better at it. Like, I feel like jiu-jitsu has taught me persistence more than anything else. Cause like jiu-jitsu is really like long game. If you can just keep showing up and be intentional, it's like you will get better, especially if you're in the right environment. But there's people who've done a lot with a lot less in all facets of life. So
what got you into it? Like, okay, so you're a black belt.
I'm a brown belt.
I thought you were a black belt.
No, I'm a brown belt.
Why did I think you were a black belt?
I don't know. But probably because you only see me wear NoGi stuff. So
that's probably true.
Probably don't see my belt. No, I've been training for like almost 15-ish years. And then I've been a brown belt. I think it'll be 6 years end of next month.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But also too, like if you switch teams, like that kind of happens naturally because you have to like kind of situate to what their curriculum is and like what they deem is important for black belt. Because that's the thing about the belting system in jiu-jitsu. It's like it's so subjective. It's very different than like traditional martial arts, even like judo, where like you go pretty much anywhere and like the testing requirements to get your yellow belt, it's pretty much the same stuff. But in jiu-jitsu, it's very different. And it's different from like gym to gym, like that teach virtually the same stuff. Let's say there's 2 gi jiu-jitsu gyms and they're mostly gi, maybe they're mostly IBJJF or whatever. Like they still are probably going to belt you differently and like what they deem is important. And they're pretty freaking similar. But if you like, in my case, went from like more of a gi jiu-jitsu background to like 10 planet, it's almost like a different martial art almost. You know what I mean? It is, but it isn't. But it's like it's going to take even longer to adjust. Like I feel like it took me a while to like adjust from going from gi to no-gi than if I would have went from no-gi to gi. And that's something looking back on. I wish I would have focused more on no-gi at first because I did focus on MMA at first. And then it turned to gi. And because that's just what like my coaches and environment wanted me to do. So I was like, cool. I mean, that's what you do. Like you just pick the gym closest to you and you're like, I'll just do what everyone else is doing. You know what I mean? And then after that, then it turned into just predominantly no-gi. I still train gi every now and then, but like once a week max. I tried more than that. I was like, I might do a comeback. And then I trained like 3 times in 1 week in the gi on top of training a bunch. And I was like, this sucks, dude. It's not worth it.
Your fingers hurt and you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
like,
the tournament wasn't even for that much money. It was like $500 and it ended up falling through. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, God, it wasn't even worth it to me.
I gave it my effort. All right. I can just write that off. I don't have to.
Yeah.
What you said it would, honestly, you thought it would have been easier going from no gi to gi than the inverse?
Yeah. So what I mean by that is like, so like if you start at a gi focused gym and everything's taught like based off gi grips, then like once you take the gi off, that game just doesn't exist at all. Like you can't really play spider guard no gi. Like I guess you could try, but like
no chance.
Yeah, it's just not gonna work like realistically. And like here's the thing: when we say stuff doesn't work in jiu-jitsu, we just mean like it's a numbers game. Like look at it through the scientific method of like a meta-analysis. A meta-analysis is like not just one study, but it's like the average of a bunch of studies across the board. And it's like, it has to be high percentage. It's like, why put all your effort into something that's low percentage, right? So like no-gi spider guard, not very high percentage. But half guard passing in no-gi, very high percentage. And what's crazy too is like when you go to gi, it's also high percentage. If anything, it might be more. It might be higher percentage because of all the friction from the gi, and then you can add stuff to it. But fundamentally, it's still the same that it was in no-gi, but then you add handles to it. So like if you understand how to control someone from like a split squat or like knee cut, knee shield type position, I fucking hate jiu-jitsu. There's so many names for shit. I hate it so much. It pisses me off.
You went to 10th Planet, so you get a whole different like lexicon.
Dude, it's like every gym just likes to have their own names for stuff. And like a lot of them make sense to some degree. It's just like the differences of dialect is just like annoying. But it's like I appreciate that about judo. It's like it's one name.
It's
it's like, yeah, cool. It's Japanese. Maybe you have to learn this weird form of Japanese that people don't even talk in really, but at least we all agree it's Uchimata. Like it's one thing. Like
no one's debating that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, like I think going from no-gi to gi, you can have like a good fundamental base of controlling someone from like a split squat or knee cut type position, where if you can do that with just your body, and then once you add the handles of the jacket, then it's like, all right, now that's extra. But if you need the jacket to be able to hold them down, it's like, do you fundamentally understand how to control them from that position? Maybe not. You have to put into account that they're going to be using gi grips too. And not all the time, but a lot of times when someone makes a gi grip on you, it's advantageous to make a gi grip back to eliminate their ability. So like if someone grabs your sleeve, you could just break the grip, but like, 9 times out of 10, what are they going to do? Just going to grab your sleeve again.
Grab
Yeah,
it right
exactly.
back. Like,
yeah.
Thanks, now give it back.
That's the issue with grip breakings. People just break grips and they're like, all right, now I'm just going to sit here and let you do it again. And you'll just get into this like loop. But if you like, instead of just thinking of breaking the grip, you nullify the grip and almost make it like a liability. So like if you circle your hand and grab their sleeve, now it's like, all right, I have you. Now you can't go anywhere. I can pull or I can push this. And like, yeah, that's good too. But like fundamentally how to keep them into that position, like it's going to benefit you, in my opinion, to start no-gi and then work to gi. Because I noticed when I was doing a lot of gi and I went to no-gi, I was like, I feel like I had to start over. But then once I did enough no-gi, maybe like a year or two, and I started to like understand parts of it fundamentally a little bit more about how to like wedge my body around their body and not just rely on like wedging through like tension created in the jacket, because that's very strong. It's very strong. But like I've also had matches where I was like, damn, I can't get my grips, and it's like hard to get your game going. But it's like if you can just like wrap your arms around them and just like put weight onto them, then you add the gi, then it's like, oh, this feels better now. Like every time I went from like doing a lot of no-gi to gi, that first session would be a little weird because I'm like, oh yeah, the grips. But once I understood like when like I needed to make grips, like when I'm on bottom playing guard, it's like, yeah, you got to make these grips, dog, because they're going to make those grips first. And if you don't address those pant grips and they just run around your guard, it's really frustrating. They don't even have to be great. They just have to like do it with conviction and it can catch you off guard. But like if you have their sleeves and stuff, that like it's kind of hard for them to do that. But if you're on top, you know what I mean? You don't really need to grab their gi. It's just like little extra handles to like put pressure on. I mean, my game at least, like for me, it's like I just fucking lay my body weight on you and play by ear.
That works.
Yeah, just lay
Not
on
super
you.
scrambly. You don't have to fucking run around and gas out.
Dude, I hate that shit. I hate moving. It's like I'll do it if I need to, and it's like some days I do want to move because it feels good to like move around and like work hard. But at the same time, if I could just lay on you and not let you move at all, it's like that's kind of like the idea of jiu-jitsu. I feel like it's like efficiency over everything. So if I have to like work hard to do something, I'd rather not.
100%.
Yeah.
And too, it's like I'll train with like we've got a guy named Matt Principe who's like 270 or something like that. And it's like I train with him all the time, and I'm like, the fuck do I want to get into a scramble for and like run the risk of his big ass laying on me, and now I'm sitting there like dying inside control.
Yeah.
And if it's in the gi, he just grabs on that cloth, and I'm like, oh, and I'll just kill myself now.
How much do you weigh?
230.
230? Yeah, you're a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is like it's weird once you start going up in weight. It's like, all right, like I don't know, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I feel like 230 to 270 feels like a bigger gap than, what is that, 230? That's 40 pounds. So
190.
yeah, like when I go with a guy, so I'm 180, 185 right now. When I go with a guy who's 155 or 145, yeah, there's a guy I roll who's about 145, 150. His name's Brian Parker. I roll him pretty often. Like I'm bigger than him, but I also don't feel like there's that issue of me dropping all my body weight on him and like killing him essentially.
Yeah.
Where comparative to like if I go with someone who's 40 pounds heavier than me, it's like, brother, that's still almost 300 pounds just laying on my ribs weird. It's like it gets risky. It's like I kind of hate I had a student who was like in that super heavyweight division where it's like 222 and up or whatever.
Yeah.
Or ultra heavyweight, and he wanted to go down to super heavyweight where it's like below 222, but it was hard for him to make that weight. And it's like one time he was like, oh, I'll just do the heavyweight division. And then he got some guy that was like 350, and he's like, bro, he's like maybe like 230, 240. And I was like, dude, you should have cut that weight.
And in that moment, he was like, God damn it, I should have quit eating sweets.
Yeah, dude. He was like, yeah, I should have just cut that weight. I was like, yeah. Yeah, I feel bad for those in-betweener big dudes. It kind of sucks being like an in-betweener between like 170 and like 190, because then you're almost expected to go with like the bigger guys. But I've learned I have to have limits at times, because if I'm going with a 300-pound guy and he just falls on me weird, like I'm out of training for a while, and then that affects my livelihood.
I was about to say, because you're running a school. So
yeah, running
like
a school, like teaching privates, like even training. Like the way I look at training is like it's not just for like getting for competition, but it's like also to like further my craft to be better at my job too. So it's almost like personal development as well. It's like if I can't do that, it's like, well, I'm also doing a disservice to my students, not getting like better at teaching and like doing jujitsu as well. So, and I've had that happen. Just unnecessary stuff like people follow me weird and hurt me, or like even like skin infections, stuff like that. Like if I notice someone's got something on their skin, it's like, yeah, dude, I'm not rolling with you.
I've got staph on my leg right now.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Let me lick it.
Second time this year. Dude, if you want fucking staph on your tongue, go for it.
I'm trying to think. The worst infection I've had was actually not even from jujitsu. I'm pretty sure I got it from the Chattahoochee River. It's actually pretty recent.
Oh, it probably was. Yeah, it was 100% from the river.
I got cellulitis. Because I have like a psoriasis on my legs. It's like an autoimmune disorder. Yeah. And it's like I have scales on my legs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, scales like a lizard. But I guess I just didn't know I had a cut on my leg from the psoriasis. And when I was in the river, I don't think I was even like in the river like shooting the hooch or anything. I just like was walking through there just chilling, and then got infected. My leg was swollen so much that I couldn't walk within like a day. Like it felt a lump on my shin, and then it turned to my whole calf. I remember when I went to training like a few days after antibiotics, like I wasn't even training, I was just kind of hanging out. And someone looked at my leg and they were like, dude, your calf is like 3 times as big as your other calf. And I honestly thought I was going to have to lose my leg because like they gave me antibiotics, Bactrim, for 2 weeks. And it kind of helped, kind of didn't. And then they had to give me another one, a doxycycline. They had to give me another really strong one. And it finally started to go down at the end. So I had to be on antibiotics for 4 weeks straight. 2 different antibiotics.
That's good for your stomach.
That's great. I feel great. I threw up every day for a week straight in training. I hated it. It was like the 3rd or 4th week because then I got done with the first round and my gut was like, all right, we've done that. But then like on to the second round immediately, my gut was like, all right, dude, we're not used to this. And then I had to do actually a few more days at the end of those 4 weeks. So 4 weeks and 5 days.
Oh my God.
So I did like 3 cycles back to back. I didn't tell anyone about the 5th one.
I want to fucking train. They told me it's not going to spread. Just it'll be fine.
Dude, it was more so just because like it was dying down and I wasn't contagious. And it's cellulitis. It's on the inside of my leg too. I didn't even have a wound, which is the crazy part. It was like there was no wound. It was just
ballooned up.
And it was like red and purple, like around my calf or my shin. And I wasn't contagious for a while. Like I was already training. Like after like I think I waited like 2-3 weeks just to be safe. And then once I started training, I realized like it just still wasn't getting better. So I had to get on 3 back-to-back cycles of antibiotics. And then I had to do another one like a month after that because it flared up again. And I was just like, dude, what is life?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Dude, it comes on quick. When I got it the first time, I literally trained Thursday night. Friday, I had to fly to LA for this thing. And so like I didn't really notice anything Friday. Saturday, I was like up all day at this like event. It was like a real estate investor thing. Yeah. And I'm like, I was like, fuck, man, like my leg is kind of itchy. And I was like, all right, like whatever. Literally got back to this Airbnb we were staying at. I like looked down and I had the fattest whitehead you've ever seen. And I was like, uh-oh, I don't think it's supposed to look like that. And I was like, all right, we're going to bite the bullet. And I popped that shit. Yeah. It was disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, I think I have staph. And I woke up in the middle of the night because like I like rolled over and the inside of my leg was like ballooned up. It hurt to touch. Dude, I was limping like a fucking like I was limping like I had been shot through fucking LAX, like trying to get to the gate. I was like, this is so bad. Then literally same thing on the second one where it was like morning of, I was like, oh, like it doesn't look like that bad. It just kind of looked like an ingrown hair. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then literally later that day, same thing, was just like laying on the couch and like my leg like hit the pillow or some shit. And I was like, that really hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think it was supposed to feel like that. Yeah. Like looked at it and I was like, oh, I don't think that's good. And they were like, yeah, here, you're going to be on doxycycline for 10 days. And I was like, perfect. Dude, yesterday morning I was in the car and I was like nauseous as fuck, just like driving. I was like, it just like saps the energy from you.
Saps the energy, makes you nauseous. Yeah, it's all really annoying. But I mean, honestly, like I just started taking like super strong probiotics, like the ones that are like refrigerated. I would get the high potency ones from like the back of Costco at the pharmacy. And they're expensive. They're like $60 or like $40 for like the really good ones. But you'll have like a month or 2 supply. And I always like have been taking that now. And it helped a ton.
I just drink raw milk.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
I fucking love raw milk.
Primal.
Dude,
I like it.
It's so good. Fucking for animal consumption only.
Who's your plug? Are you legally allowed to say on the air?
My dog that I definitely have, that definitely lives in my place, that really enjoys it, gets his from Nuts and Berries in Brookhaven.
Oh, nice, dude.
Dude, okay. I rant about this shit to anyone that will listen.
They're going out of business immediately after this.
Dude, no, they sell out.
Oh, yeah.
They sell out so quickly.
I bet they do.
Dude, it's so good. It's like I could not, like, I don't think I drank milk from the time I was like 10 or 11 until I started drinking raw milk. And before, like, I would go to farmers markets all the time and get it. And I literally was talking to this girl off of Hinge. And I had a Hinge prompt at the time about it. And she was like, oh my God, I get raw milk from Nuts. And like literally, like, I think I stopped talking to her like the next day. But I was like, I'd still go back there. I'm like, I love this place. It tastes how milk is supposed to taste.
I've never had raw milk. Describe it to me.
It's creamy as fuck. No Diddy. It's creamy.
You made super intense eye contact when he said super creamy.
All right. Hey, you're the one that has to lick my fucking staph wound. So
you're the one creaming. Relax, dude.
Dude, it's so good. It's like, I don't know. It just
tastes. Is it like yogurt?
No, it's not that thick.
Okay. What about I guess it's half and half, or
you're a kefir?
Yeah.
It's like,
brother, come on, look at me, brother. My people, we invent kefir, brother. Okay. You know this, brother.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've been drinking that since I was a kid.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because I'm so fucking manly looking.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You got a fucking thick ass beard.
Yeah, that's all I got. I got hair down here, but not hair up here, type of thing.
I feel like that's the trade-off.
Yeah, me and my other Middle Eastern friend, we were talking about that. It's like there's two types of brown. It's like hair up here and no hair down here, or like the inverse.
Dude, I'm
the inverse.
I've got a couple, but actually my buddy that, I'm 99% sure he's sick. He's
sick as fuck.
He's sick as fuck. He's this huge Indian dude. His name's Deepak. He's like my height.
That sounds like a big Indian dude name.
Bro, he's like
Deepak.
my height, but he's fucking like 270. Like he's a big boy. But he's got like the thickest beard ever.
Nice.
Like full head of hair, whatever. Dude, he's got a cousin that has like no beard whatsoever. I bet he could grow a beard, but it's like, I'm like, how the fuck you got that amount of variance in the same family?
No, there's a lot of that, dude. I have family members who don't grow a lot of hair. Not like immediate family members, but like in my like family, like extended family.
Okay.
And there's some that are like blonde hair, blue eyes, some that are red hair. My dad has green eyes because he's Kurdish.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Kurds are like the northern Iraq region, and they're mixed with like Russian and Mongolian.
Like the semi-autonomous, desiring to be autonomous region.
Kurdistan?
Yeah, dude.
Kurdistan?
Hell yeah. I didn't see, like, are you from like the north, like from Kurdistan?
So I'm from Kirkuk, which is northern Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in the military?
No.
Okay. You just know about this shit?
Dude, I followed
You're
guy.
a cultured ass white dude, man. I like that shit.
I try to be. I followed a guy on Instagram for the longest time. I don't know if he died or what, but he was a volunteer in the YPK.
What's that?
The fucking Kurdish military.
Oh, that.
Like the recognized as a terrorist state by the United States. Yeah. No, he was like a member of like a volunteer member. I think he was like a U.S. service member, and then he got out, but he had like Kurdish descent or something, and he like went to Kirkuk to like fight against ISIS and like fought in Kirkuk and Mosul. Like against ISIS, like while we had nothing to do with it. And he was like posting videos on his fucking Instagram of them like capturing ISIS people. Like it was a sick page.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah, so I'm from Kirkuk. That's like close to that area. I've like my mom's from Kirkuk, and we're all born there except my dad. He was born in Erbil, and then that's like the Kurdish region. That's like where it's in Kurdistan.
Okay.
That part's nice. Erbil's really nice. It's like malls, water parks, fucking amusement parks.
Dude, I want to go.
It's actually really cool. I don't know about right now, but Kirkuk is not nice. It's like where all like the resources are, so they like strip it of its resources, and then the money goes to Erbil.
What made your parents bail out?
I feel like I told the story a million times, but I'm gonna tell it.
Dude, it's interesting as fuck to me. That's so cool.
No, you're fine. So context. My dad was like an anchorman in Iraq. Like my family was pretty wealthy. I hate it because I was the only one who didn't experience the wealth. Mm-hmm. So I just been broke my whole life. I don't even know better. You know what I mean? But my mom was like an accountant. She had a good job. My dad was an anchorman. He had a good job on the news network. My brother was like had his own TV show. He's like 10 years older than me. My sister's 7 years older. My brother had his own TV show on the news network. So like we were a very well off family. But the issue was my dad was like openly against Saddam, and yeah, not great for your overall health and well-being. So one morning, my mom woke up, my dad was gone. and she was freaking out. And then Saddam's troops came to the front door, knocked on the door, asked for my dad. She didn't know where he was. So they were like, all right, you got 24 hours to find him or we take you. So they left. My uncle called and was like, hey, the phones are tapped. I can't tell you what's going on, but I'm going to come get you. So then, so I was a year old. My sister's 8, my brother's 11. And then my uncle comes and gets all of us. And then we go to northern Iraq, like where the Turkey and the Iraq border is. And we're like staying there for like a month or two. Then we trek the border. And then once we pass the border, we meet my dad. And then we essentially just left everything behind. And then we lived in Istanbul in like a studio apartment for like the 5 of us. And we're like, pretty much had like $50. Like we had like really nothing to our name. And we lived there for 2 years. So we went from like being really wealthy, having like house, like massive house and everything, to just a studio apartment in Istanbul. And then that's where like my first life memories were. That's like my first like memories. And after that, for 2 years, we lived there. An electrician came to like fix the house or whatever. And he was talking to my sister, asked her where we're from. She said Iraq. He was like, oh, I bet you love Saddam. And she's like, no, I hate Saddam. He's an asshole. Tried to kill my dad, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, you should be careful because Saddam has eyes and ears everywhere. And that's like what his agents would say. So my mom freaked out. We signed up for the United Nations Refugee Federation. And so I have family members who are like, a bunch of us are refugees. So, okay, for context, my mom has 14 siblings. My dad has 29 siblings. And a lot of them had kids, like a lot of kids. Like we have 3 of us. That's about the average, if not more. So everybody kind of dispersed. So like some family went to Norway, some to Australia, some to Britain, Canada. But we went to Georgia because my sister had tuberculosis at the time. And Georgia and Iraq are apparently on like a similar latitude. So it would have been better for her lung health. So we got pushed to the front of the line. Also, too, my parents are college educated. So that actually helped us. I just got really super lucky, to be honest. Like, it's kind of crazy. But we got pushed to the front of the line because tuberculosis and the college education. And we got put to Georgia. We're originally supposed to Clarkston, Georgia, which is like by Decatur, where they sent all the refugees.
I was about to say, that's like a huge refugee hub.
Exactly. So I don't know what life would have been like there. But I grew up in Cartersville, where that church sponsored us. So I was like the only Middle Eastern kid that wasn't a family member of mine that I knew of until like 17, 18 years old. There was another kid from Jordan. He was a refugee as well. And he got sponsored by, I think, the masjid in town. Like, I think they helped his family get started here in America. But he was like the first person I'd met in the school system, like ever, that was Middle Eastern. And it was kind of crazy. I grew up as the only brown kid. So when I grew up and went to like college and like went to Atlanta, and like meeting other Middle Eastern people was kind of crazy to me. Because I was like, I just grew up around like white people and black people.
I was about to say, you grew up in like Redneckville, Georgia.
Country as fuck, yep. But I mean, I just kind of hung out whoever hang out. I mean, most of my friends were black or Hispanic growing up.
I was going to say, did you get fucked with I mean, I would imagine that's going to be a fucking,
yeah.
That's going to be a tough upbringing. You're like a young kid, like in the aftermath.
I was chubby. I talked a lot of shit.
A young Iraqi kid that's like 7 in the aftermath of fucking 9/11, and we like invade, and all of the U.S. media is like, no, they're all evil.
Dude, anytime we're in like history class and like we're going over like the like Iraq or the Middle East, it's like everyone just turns and looks at me like I'm the representative, and I'm like, brother, I don't know. I was raised here.
So why did you do this, Muhammad? And you're like, I literally fled the country. Don't look at me.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Fucking oil money. That's why I did it.
Dude, the fucking cojones on your dad to be like on the news and be talking shit about Saddam, especially because didn't Saddam straight up purge the parliament at one point where he like called some parliamentary meeting and then just started reading off names and they got walked out and executed?
Probably. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
He killed a lot of people. He tortured my uncle, my mom's brother. He like said in a private conversation to his friend that he didn't agree with Saddam, and his friend ratted him out for money. And then he got taken to like Saddam's torture chambers and got tortured for, I think, like a few years. And then he came out and he ended up just dying just from all the stress. He was like never the same again. Yeah. No, it's super fucked up. I mean, there were some people that were like, oh, like at least when Saddam's there, there's stability, because when he got taken down, there's like a power vacuum. And I think like some people didn't think that far ahead, but I mean, I don't know, man.
Fuck you, Dick Cheney.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like, it's hard to, I'm really not that educated in politics, to be honest. So like, it's hard for me to have like a real opinion on stuff, but I think it's just hard to see like that far ahead. And it's hard to like also know like the true intentions behind like the powers that which be like why they do the things they do.
Yeah.
And I think that's on purpose. Like, I don't think we're really meant to know the true agenda for why, like, you know, the powers that be, the big guy upstairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, hey, shut up and go along with whatever we tell you is what's best for the country, and don't ask too many questions because we know what's best for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, what am I going to do about it?
Is that?
I guess I could vote. I don't know.
Fuck voting, dude. Voting does not work. Just clip that and put it up by its own. Me saying voting doesn't work, I'll have more angry people.
Yeah.
What was that kind of like? What led you to get into jiu-jitsu, or what made you start? You said you started when you were like 14.
Yeah. So to be honest, man, I feel like I had like the more jiu-jitsu people I meet, the more I realize I'm really not that special. It's like we all had the same like similar upbringing. Yeah, I was just like, so I'm the youngest of three, so like you're already getting fucked with. Like, and if your siblings are 7 and 10 years older than you, like they're beating your ass every time. Like there's no fair fight. Like I remember trying to beat my brother's ass when he's like 15 and I'm 5. It's like, you know, it's just pointless. You got to do nothing but nut shots and run. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
You got to do cheap shit. But yeah, so like, you know, I was already used to like roughhousing growing up. So like I thought it was fun. Like always like wrestled with my friends and like, you know, enjoyed like the physical part of it, but I didn't like I didn't like confrontation or like fighting, like arguing with people. I guess maybe like when I was like a dumb kid maybe, but for the most part, no. But and then like obviously like you know, if you're the only Middle Eastern kid in a post 9/11 world in a small country town, you're probably gonna get fucked with, and that's fine. And I think like a bit of that. And then just like, all right, well, I got to learn how to defend myself. I already kind of like fighting and martial arts. I always thought it was cool. I was really into pro wrestling. I'll never forget when I found out it was fake. It's like, fuck, dude.
It's like finding out Santa's not real.
No, I always knew that shit wasn't real. Like I remember being 4 years old in like pre-K and people trying to tell me about Santa. I was like, nah, dude, I don't buy that shit. I was always a skeptic. So like, I actually say that, but I'm super naive. But I always knew Santa was bullshit. I had a hunch, and then I asked my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, it's bullshit." And I went to school, and I told everybody, and I got in trouble.
Oh my god!
I was
you showed up. You're like, "I've got some news for you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Y'all want to fuck with me? I'm about to ruin your whole world."
My mom said that's bullshit. Yeah, my mom was like, "I fucked up," but I got a big mouth. But yeah, I guess just like classic stuff like that. It's like I was always into martial arts, into pro wrestling. You know, grew up with older siblings, so you're just fighting. That's just normal. It's how it is, you know. And yeah, I got bullied. So like, you know, you're just, you kind of gravitate towards that line of thinking. Cause like, I wasn't really able to do other sports. Like my parents didn't really want to take me to like do other sports. And then also too, like I was born with a heart condition. So like, I wasn't able to like, I was a chubby kid. I was a fat boy.
Really?
My mom was a lunch lady. So like
Hell
I would
yeah.
just go straight back to the cafeteria after school. Just fucking, I'd eat like 8 lunches in a day, dude.
Hell
Whatever's
yeah.
left over, I'll eat it. Like you said, you didn't drink milk growing up, like from like 10 to whatever. It's like, bro, I drank milk every day, several times a day until like 18. It's like, just like if I got some at school, I was drinking it. And if my mom worked at the school, which for a while she did, I was drinking more. It was like me and like other lunch ladies' kids, and we're all like super fat and just drinking milk and eating nachos after school together. Yeah, I was like, you know, I was an easy target to fuck with. And it's like, you know, I was also probably just like a weird kid. You know what I mean? I'm weird now. So like, it was probably just easy to fuck with me. So I just got into karate when I was like, probably like 10. But it was just like, I only did that because there was no jiu-jitsu around. And I didn't really know what I was looking for. And I did that for a few years, but it was kind of lame because there's no sparring. And that was like the part I really wanted to do. This is the part you see in the movies. You're like, all right, let's fight each other. Let's see what's like for real. And then eventually, it's a funny story. It was like, I think in 8th grade or something like that. 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. One of my buddies, he was like the kid in the school system that trained MMA for real. Like, he's wearing Ed Hardy shirts, tap out shirts, affliction shirts. He would like go to like Vegas. His dad was really into it. So like he would go to Vegas and train with like Gray Maynard and stuff like that back in the day.
Holy shit.
Yeah. This is like back when Gray Maynard was like a big deal.
The
you know
fucking
what I mean?
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he's still the man. But it was just like in that era of like 2008, 2009. And I knew he had trained, but I didn't really know where because there wasn't a gym nearby. And then we were like in the back of like chemistry class one day and we were like kind of shooting the shit. And I was so dumb. I had like watched grappling videos and like stuff online, just like whatever I could find on YouTube or on Google. And I saw someone do what's called an executioner. You know what that is?
No.
An executioner is like, imagine I go around you and grab your neck from behind like a guillotine, but I'm behind you and I bend your neck backwards like that.
What the fuck?
It's named after Scotty Epstein. This guy is 10 playing a black belt, but it's called executioner. And I thought that was a guillotine. And I was like, dude, watch this fucking guillotine I learned online. He was like, that's not a guillotine. And then he put me in like just a classical, like deep guillotine. and he like almost put me to sleep because I didn't really know how to tap. I was like, I didn't really like understand like how fast it would come on and like how quickly I needed to tap. And he almost like put me to sleep, and I was like, dude, that was fucking sick. And he was like, yeah. And then he slid me this address of like where he trained, and it was just this guy's like house, and he had like a basement gym. It's like this older guy who was just really into it. His son trained.
Hell yeah.
And there's just a local pro fighter who taught there, and it's just me and like a bunch of teenagers. And I was like the grunt of them all because I had trained the least. I was the youngest. I was like the least athletic, and I got the absolute shit kicked out of me, like MMA training for a little bit. And then a gym finally opened up in town where that local fighter was teaching at. Went there, and then just kind of went down the MMA path for a little bit. And then after a few years of that, I was like, this is actually terrible. What am I doing this for? Just from like concussions, knee injury. It's just like, it's like, if you're not going to be John Jones, like why do this? So I just stuck to jiu-jitsu.
Did you ever fight MMA?
I did, but not then. I got injured on my 18th birthday. Like I tore my ACL really bad, and I was out of training for a few months. Thankfully I was young and I didn't need surgery. So it wasn't like a complete tear. It was like a really bad grade too. Like someone went for Harai Goshi on me on like hip toss. And then when they went to reap my leg, instead of making me light, they made me heavy. And they
sat.
Yeah. And he was also like 300 pounds, and I'm like 170 pound like child.
Good.
Great, right?
Perfect.
And we're doing MMA like sparring like Shark Tank drills. So like I'm just getting the shit kicked out of me by a grown man.
All right, and UA 170, he weighs 300. Yeah, Shark Tank him.
Yeah,
He's had 3 rounds in a row. Go get him.
Yeah, dude. I just got my ass beat. It was great. But yeah, he kicked my leg out, and my knee I watched it like just pop out of place and go like completely backwards and like to the side. And even my coach at the time, he was like always really hard on me. And even then he was like, ooh, that looked really bad. He didn't want to say it, but he's just like, ugh, you okay? And I'm like, no, I don't think I am. But after that, I was like, I took some time off, came back, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to just do jiu-jitsu because it's a lot easier on my body. Because I was like, I want to keep training for the rest of my life. I don't want to like I'd rather like train in the long term and do less, I guess, like accolade wise, than win a bunch of stuff. But then I'm injured and then I can't train. Like, I feel like there's really maybe, I don't know, maybe this is why I suck as a competitor, but it's like maybe this is why I don't win shit, but it's like, I don't want to give up my quality of life for a medal, or even like, I don't know how much money would be worth it. Even $1 million. It's like, that sounds nice, but then like after tax and all that shit, it's like, is it really worth not being able to walk for the rest of your life properly? I don't know.
I was going to say, a lot of people, I mean, there's people that are maimed or like not going to walk normally for the rest of their life for far less money. You had a match with Tyson, right?
Yeah, we
Tyson
did.
B. I watched him snap a kid's ankle when he was.
I remember that. Yeah, it was at an AGF or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, I was there. I saw it. I was standing right there. I was like, I think I was coaching someone right next to him. And then I looked over and then I was like, oh God. And I think I saw it right before it broke too. And it seemed like, I remember thinking like, man, I feel like he's been in this for a while. And I was, every time I think this person should tap, their leg almost always explodes. And it's like, oh no.
I was literally standing right there watching it happen.
Yeah.
It was like from me to that palm tree, like right there was the distance. And literally the kid was like laughing at some of Tyson's leg entries. And it was like 12 seconds left. And he got a straight ankle. And I saw Tyson roll over. I was like, this kid's about to get his fucking ankle popped. And I didn't think it was going to be that. And it literally sounded like a fucking baseball bat. And
he broke the leg, right?
Uh-huh.
The tib fib, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a lot more common than people think, because it's like, if someone gets a right enough angle and because it was a straight ankle lock, right?
Yeah. Belly down, straight ankle.
Yeah. I mean, you're essentially just doing a deadlift against someone's tib fib. And if you twist their ankle enough to where it's mechanically weak and you can't fight against it, it's like, I don't know, man. Do you really want to play that? I've felt people who are like, even if they're not doing it right, they're just bridging into your tib fib. And it's like, yeah, you'll probably break my leg. Like, you got it, dude. Like,
this ain't worth it.
You're not even doing it right. You're like belly up, but you're so strong and you're so dense that it's like, I don't want to take that risk and just fuck around and find out, dude.
For a fucking $4 plastic medal from
that's crazy
American
to get
Grappling
broken
Federation.
to get broken at like essentially amateur grappling scenario. There's no money on the line. For me, even like putting like a bunch of money on the line, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I'm gonna blow through a lot of Uber Eats money real fast. And still have a broken leg.
Yeah, like what? Quantify how much money your leg functioning for the rest of your life is worth. Is it 10 grand? Like, you're gonna have to pay me a fuckload more than $10,000 for me to be like, yeah, snap it.
Yeah.
Like Brandon was talking one time, and he was like, "I've seen so many tournaments where guys get into fucking leg shootouts, and it's first and second place on a podium, and number one has ice on their knee, and number two has ice on their knee because both of them popped each other."
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think there's a difference between like a pop and it's like a catastrophic break.
Yeah.
Because like I've been popped before, and it's like, oh, that sucks. But like, I'm also like aware enough to know like when it's a pop and it's like, all right, I'm stuck, and this is gonna just snap my whole leg. Let me just go ahead and tap and not take exorbitant damage for no reason.
Yeah.
So
Guys will let their shit pop for literally nothing. I know Campbell.
people let their shit pop in training. I know people who will just eat breaks in training. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Why?
Yeah. And like, there's accidents. Like, you know, things happen. Like, I've definitely had issues where like it was coming on, and I was like, all right, I need a tap. And like, as I'm going to tap, I tap, and then my foot pops, and it's like, damn. And it's like, that's annoying. But like, that's just kind of like that happens every now and then. It's like you waited just half a second too long, and like you also like underestimate the time it takes for you to tap, their brain to register, and then for them to let go. It's like it's a longer time than you'd imagine. And it's like sometimes you're also like basing off of one hand, trying to like lift your hips up and alleviate the pressure. So like I'll verbal tap a good bit if I feel like I can't get to my hands in time. But
I verbally tapped like a bitch. Like actually the training session before I got staff against Brady, because he got onto my leg and I was like tap 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 like fucking, because it was like he like fell back on it. He had a fucking good bite, and I was like, please don't.
Yeah, it's like it's hard not to sound, I guess, like that when you verbal tap. It's all, I mean, it's immediate. It's like da, da, da. It's like you can't sound cool. You're like tap. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's like
your leg's gonna break.
You're trying to get out tap before you feel like your fucking knee become
this is the
dismembered.
last ditch effort. I must tap as soon as possible.
That shit is, oh my God.
Yeah, the foot tap always makes me laugh, though. I always tell students, like, you know, if your hands are busy, just verbal tap. If you can't verbal tap for whatever reason, I guess you could foot tap. But like, damn, dude, if you got a foot tap. Also, too, it almost takes me a second to understand that that's a tap.
Yeah, 100%. And too, it takes way longer, because if you're going to tap with your foot, it's not just like a tap. It's like you got to hike your fucking leg up and slam it like twice before the other person's like, oh, I think they're tapping. Because like, I don't know, if you're on the mats and the mats are like kind of,
that's a very good point. It's
kind of occupied, and like someone gets swept and like lands, like it sounds like the same. Like that sounds more of like tap than a foot tap.
Yeah, and you're tapping on the floor, which is also inherently dangerous.
True.
Yeah.
What's the worst you've ever hurt someone in a grappling match?
I'm trying to think. In a match or like in training?
Either.
Fuck. All right, so I guess I have two that I can think off the top of my head. One was in a competition. This one I really felt bad for, but like I gave him so much time to tap and even stopped after the first pop, and he like still refused to tap.
That's on him.
It was on him, and I still just felt bad because he was like, I was like a blue belt. It's like a new breed. I'm like pretty young. I think I'm like 19 or 20 at the time. And he, I put him in a triangle, and he does the thing where he like does this, I guess, like answering the phone. And I was like, cool, I guess I could triangle this, but I really want a wrist lock. So I grabbed, dude, this is honestly really fucked. I'm a bully, but I get this wrist lock, and it's like kind of like one of the worst ones in my opinion. It's like this one straight back. Yeah. Because I feel like most people have a little more range of motion this way forward.
Your shit doesn't go anywhere going backwards.
Yeah, not mine at least. And this dude's like older. He's like in his late 30s, 40s maybe, and he's in the adult division. And I know him because we've cross-trained together before. And his like wife and his kid are there. And I'm like applying it, and it pops. And I'm like, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm good, man. That was just air. And I was like, I don't really think that was air, but
okay, watch this.
I was like, I don't know if you can pop air out of your wrist, by the way, like straight back. I was like, I've never popped my wrist straight back, buddy, to like get some air out of there. But I was like, all right. And then I kept applying it. And then it was just like, oh man, it was so gross. Cause his like, I felt the tension and the give. And it was the give that was like really gross for me. Cause I felt his knuckles go back this way. And like go limp, and I like immediately let off, and it was like not just like a pop, it was like it sounded like cardboard tearing, or like really like a loud crunch, and like almost like a carpet tearing. It was just so like thick, like the amount of like I guess like bone and like ligament it had to tear through. I don't know exactly what the damage was, but I stopped immediately, and I was like, "You okay?" And he goes, "No, I'm not." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, Jesus Christ!" And like. Yeah, and then I saw him like a few months later, I think maybe like 5 or 6 months later, at a tournament, and he had a cast on his arm. And I was like, dude, don't tell me that's from that wrist lock? And he's like, it is. I think he had to get surgery because your wrist is like such a terrible thing to break because it's like you have like 13 little bones that fit perfectly in one another. So if you fuck up one thing, it's like I've popped my wrist in like a wrist lock and didn't tap fast enough. And then like my wrist was like felt funky for a while. So I couldn't imagine like, because I think you had to get like pins and screws and all that shit. Because I think it like definitely tore some stuff, but it might have like dislocated or like fucked up the bones or to some degree. I don't know how anatomy works, but he had to get surgery and he was out of training for a while. He was in a sling like 5 months later still.
Just tap.
It just tapped, dude. It was a new breed tournament. We're blue belts.
Multiple questions. One, why are you in the adult division
Yeah.
as a 30-something-year-old man at a new breed?
He was
Two,
definitely like closer to 40.
Two, why are you bringing your kid? Don't bring your kid. Like, dude, I'll see MMA fighter. Like, okay, have you ever seen that video of Kamaru Usman's daughter when he gets fucking obliterated? No. Dude, there is a video where Kamaru gets head kicked to hell by Leon and his daughter's in the crowd.
Oh, man.
Like, dude, you just traumatized that little girl.
Yeah, that's fucked. It's not as bad for grappling tournaments, but like in striking where you can get knocked out and it's like everybody sees that and they're like, ooh, that's bad. Like you look dead. Whereas like in grappling tournaments, you just tap. People who don't even know what's going on half the time are like, oh, what happened? You know what I mean? Especially like a wrist lock.
If you tap.
If you tap. If you don't
I was
tap,
about to say
people
the
know what
caveat
happened.
being if you fucking tap.
Yeah,
and if you don't tap, people hear the pop and go, that didn't sound good.
Yeah, it's probably pretty traumatic hearing your father's arm break in front of you.
Dude, I've told this story literally on this because I ask everyone that does jiu-jitsu the same question just because I have a fucking sadistic mind. My mom I've competed once. My mom insisted on going. I begged her not to. Dude got caught in an Americana and tried to roll out of it.
Wait, who? You did?
No, a guy like right before my match.
Oh,
like the mat over from where I was.
She saw someone get broke off.
My mom was like standing there waiting for me to go up, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, I don't want her here. Like this is whatever, dude. He got okay. Actually, I think Tristan is the one that told me about it. Tristan and Ryan Crook were there, and yeah, they like had like walked over to me, and I had like my headphones on, and I could just hear the crack, and I like looked up, and the dude was like screaming.
Yeah.
Apparently, he got caught in an Americana and was like, I should roll.
Yeah.
Because he thought it was a Kimura, I guess.
Gotcha.
White belt. And then my mom walked over and she's like, I liked it better when you played baseball. It's like, I told you not to come to this. Like, you should not be here.
Yeah, I've never had parents come to a jiu-jitsu match or anything like that.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I don't want to have to worry about them being there. You know what I mean?
I think it's way better that way.
Yeah, I just want to do my thing.
Yeah, it's like, please just let me go do this. And
yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
And then I'm trying to think, probably one of the worst breaks I've ever felt was, this is such a fuck story. I used to teach at this gym in the Atlanta area. I don't want to say where, but I was teaching a class and this guy came in and I immediately got weird vibes from him. Like he apparently showed up like 3 hours early to class and he was like, yo, I'm here to train. I'm here to learn. He kept saying the same thing over and over again, which is gonna make sense in a little bit, but he showed up and he was in the class. I got a weird vibe from him. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, like, have you trained before? He goes, yeah, I've trained. And I was like, where have you trained at? And then he goes, where have I not trained? And I was like, what the fuck? And then he just kept saying, I want to learn. I'm here to learn over and over again to everyone. And I was like, is this dude tripping on something right now? And I rolled with him first round because I didn't want to roll the students. And I was like, let me just kind of feel this dude out real quick. And I put him in Ashi and he grabs my wrapping hook. So the foot like on the hip, he goes to like grab like an Aoki lock essentially and tries to like rip it. And I just kind of go with it. And then when I go with it, I expose his heel for the outside heel hook. And when we're here, he keeps going to like go for the Aoki lock away. But my foot's fine. And I have the outside heel hook. It's pinned. Everything's there. I have the entanglement. And I lock my hands and I'm going super slow. And I like just slowly apply pressure to see, because he said he's trained before. And right when I thought, man, crazy, most people tap right about here. And right when I thought that, his leg just exploded. And it was like a pop, pop. It was like the several pops.
Sound like Velcro ripping.
Yeah, and I felt it radiate up from his foot all the way up to the knee. Like I saw the tension in his knee and I was like, man, it's crazy. Like most people tap right about here. But he was really gung-ho on this Aoki that he was going for. And then, yeah, when I felt it go, I stopped immediately. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And he gets up and he goes, woo! And he, like, gets up and he's like, whoo, I feel good, man. Let's keep going. And I was like, what? And, like, I was like, is your leg okay? He kind of like limps a little bit, but he's still moving. And I'm like, all right, let's keep rolling then, I guess. And then he kept saying that thing like, oh, I'm just here to learn, dude. I'm just here to learn. And I was like, this dude's definitely on some shit right now, because I most definitely just snapped that leg. And he was definitely on like PCP or something, because when I tell you he was the strongest human being I have ever felt, dude, there was a moment where I was on top of him in mount, and I just like put him down, held him down. I was like, all right, what am I going to do with this guy? Like, this is how long is this round? Jesus Christ. And then I like have my hands on the ground in mount, and I'm just kind of thinking, and he grabs my wrist like a C grip, and he just gets up and essentially does like a hip bump sweep, but like from bottom mount. And when he grabbed my wrist, I tried to like pummel and like circle, and it felt like he was almost going to like break my bones with his grip. This dude's like 150. He's a skinny guy. Like, I outweigh him. And he didn't seem like he was like super in shape. Seemed like a pretty like skinny dude, but it was ungodly strength. And I've done jiu-jitsu long enough to roll with like really strong people who are on all the steroids. And this did not even feel like steroids. This just felt like crack or PCP type shit, like crazy type of strength. Like when he would squeeze, I would see like the striations,
yeah, striations,
yeah, in his arms. And it just looked like unnatural to the point where I was like, I feel like he's, because you know, like when people do PCP or shit like that, they like
no.
You never do that.
No, I've never really fucked with PCP.
That's the key to winning, dude. That's a new PED, but it's like this is what I've heard from like friends who are police officers or like in the medical field, that like, and I could be butchering this, but like it like disrupts your neuromuscular system in the sense of like it makes you fire off all those muscle like contractions, but your nervous system can't regulate it. So it's doing it so much that you're almost like tearing your own muscle fibers, squeezing so hard. Like the next day you're going to feel like shit because like how hard you squeezed, because your body can't regulate it. That's what I understand to some degree, but
dude, it's okay. We don't fact check anything.
Perfect. Thank God.
No,
but bro science, just trust me, dude.
Exactly.
Source, just trust me.
Source, me.
Yeah.
I am the source.
And I just remember looking at his arm while he was squeezing my wrist and sitting up, and I was like, dude, this is not normal. This is not natural, because I've felt really strong dudes. I rode with like Tex Johnson. This is one of the strongest human beings I've ever felt in my life. This dude felt stronger than that. Didn't make sense. And then I was kind of like in fight or flight mode, and I was like, damn, I got to get this dude down now, because he like started to get up and got back up, and I like shoved him back down, got to mount. He's like freaking out, and he keeps saying, I just want to learn. I just want to learn. He's like talking to himself, and I'm like, have him in mount. And I put him in what's called stocks in 10 Planet terms. It's like you weave that arm behind their shoulder and like pin them so they're like this in mount.
Yeah.
And I'm like holding his wrist above his head, and he's like still talking to himself. And I'm like, bro, who are you talking to? Like, I'm not responding at all right now. You're just talking to yourself. And he's like, what, man? Like, what the and he starts freaking out, and like he almost like snapped back to his senses. And he's like calling me a bitch, and like he's like, get the fuck off me. Like, I'm fucking tired of this shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? And then like he gets up. And then like he's like, no, man, let's keep going. And then we keep going. And then I get him in an ankle lock on the same leg, and I go belly down, and I just like, dude, I pop it again. It's like I think I just popped a different part of his ankle and just kept breaking his leg.
What
and
the
then
fuck?
And then I don't know why I let him up. but after that ankle lock, he tried to tap, but I guess he didn't know how to tap properly. He's like, all right. And I was like, what? I was like, are you tapping? He's like, yeah. Let go. And I like let go, and he's like, I'm tired of this shit. And he gets up and freaks out and like cusses me out in front of the whole class. And like after the first break on the heel hook, like several of my students around me were looking and were like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And then he gets up and he leaves. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch your foot.
Oh no, that wasn't me. That was the
oh man, I wish it was your foot. That'd be nice.
Okay,
it's a traumatic moment. I need to touch somebody. But
it's okay. I'm here for you. Don't worry.
Appreciate it. He gets up and walks away, and everyone's like, what the fuck just happened? And then the crazy part was he walked back, and he was like holding something in his hand, and we were like, oh fuck, dude, we're about to die, we're about to get shot up. And he's like,
to air the gym out.
Yeah, exactly. And then he comes back and he's like, I forgot my shirt. And then he's like grabs the shirt, walks past me, he's like, you still a bitch. And then like he walks off. And everyone's like, what just happened? I'm like, I don't know, dude. That was crazy. And then this was the really funny part, because I think the next day he finally realized how fucked his leg was, because the gym page, the gym that I worked at the time, I didn't even run their Instagram page. The owner showed me, but like there was like a string of like burner accounts just like sending like story replies of like the gym's like posted videos of people working out or whatever. And he's like responding to it, just talking shit. And like the first couple messages, he's like, who is this guy? And then the third message, he's like, you broke leg bitches, like fuck y'all. Like, and then we're like, oh, it was that guy. Like he probably just woke up the next day and realized like how destroyed his leg really was. Cause I broke it 2 separate times on the same leg, just like one internally, one externally. So it's like I just broke both sides of his leg completely. And
I was just trying to balance it out, bro.
yeah, I was helping him out. You know what I mean? But
That's
yeah.
a learning experience.
I mean, I got to test my braking mechanics, so that was kind of cool. Like, I always hate hurting people, but in that case where it's like, he kind of did it to himself and he's kind of a dick, and it's like, all right, well, at least I know I can break someone's leg. Because, like, imagine I trained all this time and I still couldn't break someone's leg if I really needed to. It's kind of crazy.
So I've got an idea.
I don't know. I don't like where this is going.
So I've got an idea. So you run a gym.
Okay. Yeah.
We were talking about belt qualifications.
Yeah.
The old school thing was like, hey, look, if you want to be a blue belt, you got to know how to apply jiu-jitsu
I already know where this is
to
going.
defend yourself. Look, this guy needs money for PCP. You've got white belts that need to show that they're about it.
Yeah.
You just pay him, and you're like, look, bro, I'll give you $100 a week for PCP. Is PCP expensive?
I'm not sure.
You don't know?
I mean, I didn't ask this guy.
I brought you here to be a subject matter expert. This is very disappointing. You go, look, bro, I'll pay you $100 a week if you just come in, and anytime I need to promote someone, like I think they're like right on the precipice.
That's the test.
You take that $100, you get to ride the high of your life, and this white belt has to restrain you and not die. Okay, so Alliance did
This seems like a liability waiting to happen.
Everyone signs a waiver. It's okay.
But they have to get on my mats. I got to get this fucking crackhead on my mats.
Stop,
and like,
stop,
they're probably
You're
gross.
thinking logically. Shut that shit
Just
out.
go ahead and stop that.
So Alliance did that like brown belt, like fight for black belt thing. How bad do you want a blue belt?
Wait, what do they do? I'm not sure. Sorry. I've
Alliance-
never done a belt test, to be honest, or like been a part of one.
I
So
only
don't
know of
understand.
one gym in Atlanta that does them. I know Creighton does blue belt tests.
Okay.
I don't know.
What's this brown to black belt test?
It wasn't a test. So apparently Alliance put on like an in-house brown belt tournament. And it was like, if you won the tournament, you got a black belt.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
So I'm just stealing their idea. Thank you, Rick. And
Wait, who won?
I don't know.
Damn.
Sorry.
Nobody remembered his name.
Shit. Let's find out. Let's find out who won.
So
But
Rick put it on.
I saw Rick posting about it. I know Rick's one of the instructors there.
When did this happen? I feel like I missed this.
Dude, this was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh wow, this is new.
Let me see here.
Is it only Alliance brown belts? Can
Yeah,
other
it was
brown
on-
belts show
I
up?
think it was only Alliance brown
You
belts.
think if I just pull up, put a gi on? I'm just kidding.
You should have. You should have been like, I want a black belt. You
I
look
just-
at me.
I-
I am Alliance now.
That'd be hilarious.
I am Alliance black belt now.
You
Fuck,
win and you're
where
like,
is it?
actually, I don't even want the belt. I just wanted to take it from somebody else.
I just wanted to ruin someone's day. I don't even do this to win. I just do it to ruin the day of others.
There was someone who did that. It was at 10 Planet. There was somebody, like, there was a tournament for a Craig Jones seminar ticket. Oh, it was Elijah. Elijah went into the tournament and he already had a ticket. He just wanted to, like, fuck with somebody. He ended up fighting Ryan at the end. Ryan got the ticket, but it was just really funny that Elijah made it all the way to the finals. Already had a ticket.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Alliance Kumite.
That's sick. That's a good name.
Mauricio Filo. This gentleman.
Oh, he won?
Yeah.
I feel like I know who that is, maybe.
Maybe it was him. Oh, wait. Or Leo Noguera?
Well, he's the coach.
No, definitely not Leo Noguera.
That'd be
I
fucked
was
if he
like,
was in
wait
the
a second.
tournament.
Yeah,
No one's
so
getting promoted this time.
this gentleman, Mauricio, won.
Okay.
So
I feel like
congrats
I
on
may
that.
know who he is, but good on him, dude.
Anyways, you want a blue belt test. This is the solution. This is great publicity. You
Yeah.
can film the whole thing. Fantastic content. White
Great
belt
content.
versus PCP head.
White belt versus crackhead. We got to give him crack just to make the content like the headline's gotta kind of roll off the tongue. PCP head.
Yeah, that doesn't flow. That was a terrible idea on my end.
Crackhead.
On my end. Yeah. White belt versus crackhead for blue belt.
Yeah, that would do great.
I'd probably recommend not having him smoke the crack on Kazushi Club grounds. That might get you in some trouble.
Yeah. I don't think the landlord would appreciate that.
If you were in Portland, you could probably do that.
Yeah, in Portland, I'm just taking my medicine, bro. Chill.
Dude, this is my therapeutic.
This is my therapeutic dose of heroin right here.
No, officer, this is medicinal crack cocaine.
Don't worry.
Just mind your business.
This is for my job. I'm sure there is some crackhead who's probably doing great at like a call center. He's just like getting hella sales. I think I actually watched a documentary about that. There's like, I forgot what it's called, but it's about a call center. And it was like kind of like a scam. They would like scam older people. They would call them because, older people are just, I guess, easy to scam. And
Yeah.
then they would call them and be like, hey, like I'm here with the police organization, whatever the fuck. They would just give some bullshit name, like they were with some police something, and it's like, oh, we'd appreciate your donation, and like they get a sticker, and it's like they actually had nothing to do with the police, and they kept like 90% of the money, and they lied about their profit share and all this stuff, and it's like they made so much money, and the documentary was like about the people who worked there, and there was just so many people who were just like off the streets, just like drug addicts who would just sell like crazy. One dude was actually on heroin, and he was like dozing off in between calls, but he was like their number one salesman. And it's like, how does he do it?
That's America, dude.
I mean,
that's there's nothing more American.
He was,
that.
I think he was Indian, but yeah, I get the idea.
All right, well,
yeah. Well, that's even more American,
dude. Exactly.
Yeah.
H-1B visa to number one seller at a call center for a borderline fraudulent philanthropy cause.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that shit. That's America.
Yeah, that is America. I like it, dude. That's what I'm here for.
God damn, that's fucking crazy. I don't know. I'm just thinking about the dude on fucking PCP.
Oh, the guy whose
that
leg got
fucking broke off twice.
He broke himself off twice, I feel like. But I was the catalyst for the break.
He wanted it. You were just giving him what he
asked for it.
Yes.
We're victim blaming. We can't do that.
I'm going to victim blame the guy on PCP.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, bro, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like, don't do PCP if you don't want to get your shit. Don't do PCP and show up to a jiu-jitsu school.
Yeah, definitely
also,
don't.
when this thing stops, I want to know what school that was.
Okay,
Just
I'll
for
tell you.
curiosity's sake.
Okay, I'll tell you. But yeah, it's those are probably two of the worst breaks. That wrist lock on a Masters 5 opponent, and then and then breaking off a crackhead with a heel hook, and an ankle lock too, technically. But yeah, honestly, I haven't really like hurt too many people like catastrophic breaks. Like I feel like a lot of times when I compete and if I finish someone with a joint lock, a lot of times I do get a pop or two, but like they usually are just like it's a mix of like they don't want to tap, and then I have to actually apply at competition speed because it's like I don't want you to escape. So I've had that happen too, where I armbarred someone and the ref didn't see it, and the ref made me keep going, and then I armbarred him again on the same arm, same way, and I damn near had to break his arm because he didn't want to tap, and I'm like looking at the referee to make sure like he knows that like I'm just gonna have to finish this all the way. But thankfully, they didn't let their arm break, but. Yeah, it's just like it's different in a competition. Like you have to apply it with the intention of breaking it if they don't tap. That's kind of the whole thing. It sounds fucked up to say out loud, but everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. All the cool kids are breaking limbs.
It's not peer pressure. It's just your turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I understand. Like I've definitely been popped in tournaments, and it's like, you know, I don't want to get catastrophically broken, so I'm just going to tap. Kind of on you at that point.
I was going to say you're making the conscious decision to let that happen. Do you know Rachel Lamb by chance?
I think I do.
She trains I think now she trains at what's it called? God damn it.
Does she do photography?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
She shoots all the pictures, and she
I'm really bad with names.
God damn it. It's I can't fucking think of the American Top Team.
Mm-hmm.
She trains at like ATT now, and her and I were talking about how normalized it is like in the jiu-jitsu community to be like, oh yeah, my elbow got popped. Oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah, that happened. Like talking about getting popped in training or in a competition. If you tell that to any person that is not in jiu-jitsu, they look at you like you should be on a watch list.
Yeah, it's definitely like not the best culture in that sense. I feel like I definitely don't want to get popped, and I definitely don't. I kind of feel like an idiot if I get popped in training. I feel like it's my fault. You know what I mean? If I let it get there, unless it's like someone who's just inherently dangerous, like we're training with a fucking Paul Harris type of guy who's just gripping and ripping in training. But like if I'm training with someone who's pretty controlled and I still get popped, then it's like I feel like an idiot because that was my fault. But yeah, I do know what you mean. It's like there's a lot of like glorification almost and like injuries in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that part's dumb.
Yeah, no, it's dumb as fuck.
That's very stupid. Like an egotistical, like, yeah, I just let that shit break. It's like, why? Like,
no, that's dumb.
You lost either way. You could have lost and brushed your teeth tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You got to live to fight another day type shit. And I think that's very, very true because if you want to do this for the rest of your life and also have a good quality of life, because I've had injuries that like affected my quality of life, and it's like, bro, this sucks. There's really, I don't know if there's anything like monetary or accolade wise worth my quality of life.
No.
So
I got I tore my labrum. I trained at like a hole in the wall MMA school in Auburn, Alabama for 3 months. So like what can go wrong? And within 3 months I got my labrum popped.
Yeah.
And the guy caught me in like a fucking like inverted triangle from like side control or some shit, and he caught it weird. I don't even remember what happened. I was like a brand new white belt, didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And he like caught it and squeezed, and I just felt my shoulder like shift across my face.
Yeah.
And like my arm felt like it was on fire.
Yep.
I had torn this one playing baseball, so I knew the exact feeling,
Yeah.
and I was like, I just tore my labrum. fuck. Like, I'm about to have to get surgery on this thing. And it's like, yeah, you fucking don't sleep for 2 weeks and fucking have to deal with like a nerve block being like woven into your shoulder. And it's like a whole thing. You're like, this is not worth it.
Yeah, no, it never really is, right? I've torn my labrum for it. It sucks. It's not worth it. Like having your shoulder dislocate, just random shit. And you're like, bro, this sucks. Like, can't brush my teeth. Like for a while, I couldn't drive with my right arm for a while just because like I would like put my arm up and like it would just start to get that fire feeling. And I'm like, all right, I have to switch arms and shit like that. So yeah, it's not worth it, man. I would say maybe the worst injury that I've had was like I got my face broken. I got caught with a heel to the face out of a single leg. That was pretty bad. That's like sucked right then and there and sucked for a while.
Out of a single leg, you were on the single leg. And
I was
caught
on the leg and I had like a 2-on-1 single, but like a burrito grip almost.
Okay.
I was being nice and I was like, should I golf swing the fuck out of this dude? Because he was kind of going really hard.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. And then he tried to like front flip or like roll out of it, and his heel came out from the side and broke my sinus bone and then cracked my orbital. And that sucked. I couldn't train for a few months because of that. And it's like scary too, because I do a lot of passing or my head goes down. And it's like, bro, if you just broke your face, it is very scary putting your head back down there because you can just catch a knee. And then like my first day training, again, I caught an elbow and it hit me right in the point where it broke. And I fucking was freaking out because I didn't want it to re-break and whatnot. But that sucked. The injury that I've probably dealt with the most, but I didn't even know about it at the time. And this sounds terrible. I sound like a psychopath, but I broke my collarbone years ago, didn't know, and it healed incorrectly. So look at this side of my collarbone and see how it's like flat. And now look at this side of my collarbone and see how it's like almost perpendicular.
Yeah, it's fucking bunched up there.
Yeah, so that's the bone healing like this, and it broke, and I guess I just didn't know. But
how the fuck you not know you broke your collarbone?
I don't know. Apparently it doesn't hurt. Anytime someone tells me they broke their collarbone, I was like, you took time off, you pussy. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't even notice.
You were about it.
Yeah, no, but I'll stub my toe and be like, oh, fuck. I've been training for a week. But yeah, I didn't even like I didn't even know. I have a theory about like when maybe it was like in like a hard training session, I like got like sat down weird. But yeah, I didn't even know. And then I went to a physical therapist years later and they asked me like, when did I break my collarbone? And I was like, I never broke my collarbone. And they were like, no, you definitely broke that shit. Like, look at it. And then I got an x-ray and they were like, yeah, it broke like years ago. And I asked them like, was I born that way? And they're like, no, like the way it's set up, it's like, it was a few years ago. Like it had to have been like fairly recently.
Like full on, like recalcified, like your bone grew back, fucked up.
And now the really weird part is like, so you see how this part, there's like this muscle right here?
Yeah.
That's not normal. My body grew an extra muscle just to adapt.
Like scar tissue or?
It's a muscle. I don't know if it's like,
it's like a mutation or some shit.
I mean, if you touch it, it's like a muscle or like tendon and it connects and pulls it in. And I haven't got an MRI, so I don't know exactly what it looks like. But like I've had like physical therapists look at me, and I've had like several, and almost all of them are like, I've never seen shit like that. That's insane. Like your body shouldn't be doing that. But I guess I just ignored it long enough. I was just probably like, oh, my shoulder kind of hurts. And then just ignored it and just kept training. And then my body just eventually adapted.
The body's like, all right, this fucking lunatic is going to sit here and keep putting us through this
full
shit.
David Goggins mode.
Stay hard, motherfucker.
Stay hard, dude. My shoulder hurts, but it's hard. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand like how that works anatomically. But yeah, you just
make some shit up, dude.
Yeah, my body just fucking mutated, I guess. It's like that's what the physical therapist told me. They're like, it's like a mutation muscle. It's like a mute muscle. Like we've never seen that. That's not normal.
I mean, it's got to be where your body's like, all right, well, this shit's just going to be stuck here, so we got to figure out some way to glue it in place, all right? And like some muscle that ties into it just fucking, it's like a river getting curved or some shit where it's like, yeah, we'll just, instead of going here, we'll just kind of wrap around and make it work.
Yeah, and I think that probably like will bite me in the ass later on in life with like arthritis or whatever. Like my shoulder is a little more fucked on that side, but like, I don't know. Put some peptides in there, call it a day. You're good to go.
Yeah. Bro, fucking go to Mexico. Go get that shit shot up by some like all natural.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get snipped, dude. Is this wood?
I don't know, dude.
Okay.
I don't think so. Why?
I just want to knock on some wood.
Oh, yeah. Well,
okay,
that right there, yeah. There you go.
Perfect.
With the good shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. With the good shoulder, yeah.
When you broke your sinus bone, did you have to get anything done on your nose?
Like surgery-wise?
Yeah.
No. I actually got super lucky, dude. I went in, kind of the same scenario. I went in, and I went in the next day, I think. Or I forget if it was the same day or next day, but I went in, and they got it looked at with the x-ray, and it was like broken inwards, and it was like totally disconnected.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. And when the bone like broke off, they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to get surgery to like put it together. But that was like, I think like at the end of the week, and they were like, but we can't do it now. We have to wait till Monday. I think due to the inflammation, like their scheduling or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll come in Monday. And I come in Monday thinking like, all right, fuck. Like the whole weekend, I'm like, fuck, I have to get surgery. And I was like not mentally prepared for it. And then I go in Monday, and then they get another X-ray. They're like, all right, let's see where it's at. And it was like completely misaligned. And then it went to realigned in like 2 days.
Hell yeah.
And they were like, dude, this like normally never happens, but you got
dude,
super
I feel
lucky.
like you got some fucking superhuman bodily healing function.
Nah,
fucking
dude.
breaking collarbones, not feeling it, growing new muscles, fucking bones healing.
I think
fucking
I'm just lucky as shit, dude.
The Yoel Romero of Atlanta.
Nah, dude. If I'm the Yoel Romero, that's sad. I tell people I like go to testosterone clinic and I'm sponsored by them and like do TRT, and people look at me and still don't believe me, and I'm like, man, fuck you, dude.
That's fucking disrespectful.
I'm on some shit, I swear. It's working, I swear. It's medical. It's medical dosed. I medically qualified.
That's
My T levels were like half of what they should have been, below half what they should have been.
No shit.
Yeah, they were like 350, and it's supposed to be like much higher than that.
God damn.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, if I'm healing up at 350, imagine me at fucking 9,000.
Dude, fuck yeah, fuck the medical dose. Take the good shit. Get on some fucking Chris Bumstead, like Ronnie Coleman shit. Fucking put 1,200 milligrams of testosterone in your system.
Yeah, dude. Fuck it. What could go wrong?
Dude, other than your heart, oh, you have a heart problem. That might not be the best course of action. But
I mean, I feel like I haven't had too many like crazy injuries. It's like I've had a couple like weird ones that have happened, but like nothing like super catastrophic where like I have to take off for like a year and get surgery again.
Yeah, stay.
Yeah,
just fucking keep knocking on.
Yeah,
you got wood. You got the, like right there.
Where?
Little behind you. The little thing. Yeah, there you go. That's easier.
Yeah, get it with both arms. But yeah, I'm lucky in that regard. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
Dude, I've never felt like a bigger pussy in my entire life.
Why?
I had to get a septum surgery. My septum was like super deviated.
From baseball or sports
Dude,
or whatever?
I was born that way apparently, and just didn't know.
You're just born a bulldog,
dude. Yeah, I was just born. I was literally born like a French bulldog, dude.
Just can't breathe,
dude. That's basically what it was.
I'm sorry to hear that,
and, dude. I literally both shoulders done, my appendix taken out, like wisdom, like all this shit. The most painful of all of, and I mean like the most painful was the nose.
Can you breathe now?
I can.
Let me hear it. Oh yeah, that's nice.
That was way too much eye contact during that. Yeah, literally, it was like that. I had an Oura ring that I would wear, and it was like every night. It was like my sleep score was, or my like efficiency or whatever. It was like, you slept for 7 hours. You were only asleep for 4.5 of them, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I like kept getting looked at, and I was having all this like fucking nose problems, and the guy was like, your septum is like violently deviated. Like you get like no oxygen.
So you're just like waking up in the middle of the night because you can't breathe type shit?
I wouldn't wake up.
Oh.
Like I never like it wasn't like sleep apnea where I'd like lurch out of bed, but it was just like I was apparently sleeping like dog shit. They like did like put a little thing on me. I like went to sleep. They're like, you woke up 17 times last night, and I was like, oh good, no wonder I feel like shit all the time.
Yeah.
And literally they like go in, fix your nose. It's like a septoplasty and a turbinectomy.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I know what those mean. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they go in. You have these things in your nose called turbinates that apparently like clean the air that go into you.
Okay.
And my nose was super fucked up. So they straighten that. They shove these two like basically little. You know when you have to like put like the stronger nail into the wall, you can't just do the nail. You have to do the shit that like expands kind of. You know what I'm talking about? They basically put two of those in your fucking nose.
Which doctor were you at? Was it an OBGYN or go in there, get you with those clamps, open you up?
It's fucking disrespectful. This
sorry.
First you come on here and you don't understand how much PCP costs.
Yeah.
Now you're calling me a pussy. This is not okay.
I didn't even mean it like that.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant. I was like, God damn, dude.
No.
I was like, I'm
just,
catching fucking strays.
No. I was just making a clamp joke.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Put little clamps in there. And they like trimmed the little things in your nose back. And I went back in and the guy was like, yeah, like we need to cut more of them. And I was like, I don't really know. I had done didn't even read like an article about this shit. And I was like, let me see what happens if they do this more. One of the top side effects was something called hollow face syndrome. The number one side effect is suicide.
Oh my God.
Because they cut so many of them, your face loses all sensation. And like it feels like you have a hole in the
what is
middle
life?
of your face. And it drives people insane and they kill themselves. And I was like, huh. So in addition to being like wildly painful, dude, I was popping fucking, not Percocet, oxycodone. Bro, I was like, fuck yeah, Big Pharma's awesome. I love these guys. Like I was eating them like they were candy. And yeah, fun.
That sounds great, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. I'm
That's
sorry
why I was
to hear that.
asking about the fucking thing. I was like, did you have to go through? Because
No, I
then
didn't.
you know
Thank
who
God.
you know who can relate to you
Who?
when you tell people that? Instagram models
Oh, really?
that have fucking nose jobs because it's the same exact like procedure except
know
like a
that.
different. Yeah.
Is that why your nose looks so beautiful?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the first compliment on my nose I've ever gotten in my life. This is so kind.
Well, I had to do something after all those strays. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I don't take compliments well. Please don't.
Same.
Just insult me.
Keep going, but I hate it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Stop,
Like,
but don't stop.
this is like the first time I've heard this in like years. So please don't stop, but I'm wildly uncomfortable that
Exactly.
it's happening.
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh my God. So when did you open Kazushi Club?
So I opened Kizushi Club last year. June 2nd, 2023 was our soft opening date. And then we had our grand opening date in like November that year. So we've been open for like a little over a year or so. Yeah, man, it's really awesome having my own space and be able to like, you know, control the culture from like the top down how I wanted to be. And like also too, it's just really nice having a place where like, you know, people want to come train with me. Like for me, that's like such a good compliment. Like if people actually like I have students who drive like an hour each way to come train with me. And it's to me, that's crazy. And it's like, dude, if you're driving from Conyers, Georgia to Smyrna to come train with me, it's like every time you train with me, I want to make sure you get like your money and time's worth from it. Which for me, like, you know, obviously like I love jiu-jitsu and stuff. Like some days I guess are harder than others, but like I still like really like what I do. So for me, it's not really like too hard to like the teaching and the coaching part. Like, yeah, there's difficulties in every profession, but like for me, that's like the fun part. And I think most gym owners would probably resonate with that. Like the actual jiu-jitsu part's fun. It's like the running a business part can be difficult at times. And it's like a lot more of a 24/7 job than like going in and teach some classes. Cause that's what most people think like on the outside end, like, oh, you just teach some classes, bada bing, bada boom. It's like, but there's a lot of stuff outside of that. If, especially if you're like a small business owner, you're probably doing all of it. And you're probably not outsourcing much at all because you don't have the resources yet to do so, which is fine. Like for me, I like the learning process of things. So for me, it's fun, like being able to learn about business and read upon it and like study about marketing and, you know, sales and stuff like that. So I've been enjoying it.
What's like you said like setting the culture up from like top down is like, so you think that's like a conscious thing where you're like, this is the type of person I'm going to like try and attract and try and keep around in the gym? Or?
Yeah, for sure. So like, there's definitely been people who came by and like, they just kind of didn't really fit the vibe in the sense of like the vibe is like a pretty laid back. Like we don't bow in, you know, we don't line up. We circle up. We do situationals almost every day, and it's like the goal of the situationals is to like get better what we're doing. And it's like the whole point of the class is like I have 3 things that I'm trying to focus on. 1, like safety, like that's got to be number 1, because if you're getting hurt, you can't come back to training. 1, it's like as a business owner, you lose clients if they're getting hurt all the time. 2, you know, you fucking see people that you like getting hurt. Like it's not fun, like watching your students get hurt, and it's like avoidable, you know what I mean? So like I'm really big on like, you know, watching around the room, make sure you don't run into people. Like I have like a rules poster. It's like a comic book strip, and it's like it's all really basic rules, but they're like the most important. Like no shoes on the mats, don't be barefoot off the mats, clip your nails, shower before and after class or whatever. Like don't be gross.
Can I jump closed guard?
Sadly not.
Okay.
That's banned in my gym. It's banned techniques.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I mean that's like the worst leg lock of all time right there. I've had someone do that to me in competition and blew my LCL out, and it sucked. It was like the first 10 seconds of the match too, so it was like fuck, you know what I mean? But yeah, like that top down approach of like, you know, we're here for safety, like that's number 1. 2, like you got to have fun. Like if you're getting better but you aren't having fun and enjoying it sustainably, it's not going to work out. So like those 2 things are the most sustainable things you have to get, in my opinion. Like this is a gym for people who are mostly there to have fun. Like I don't really have anyone who's like a full-time guy like competing all the time. It's mostly people who have jobs, and it's like they need to be safe, they need to enjoy it, and then 3, they're going to learn something. And it's like if you get those 3 things, it's like I feel like I did my job type of thing. So I enjoy it.
Who are the people that have come in, or like what about the people that have come in that you've like tried to like steer away from it? Like what have they been like?
It's not that I try to steer away from it. I just like have an honest conversation with them. Like if they show up to the gym and I kind of feel like they are trying to prove something, then it's like I kind of tell them like, hey man, like we're not really like that type of gym where we're like, I'm gonna judge you or belittle you if you like do the move wrong, or if you don't fuck people, like if you just fuck everybody up, I'm just gonna like give you like, here's a belt, dude, like promote you on the spot type of thing. It's like it's not really about that. It's like how you carry yourself, the knowledge, like all that stuff is really important. Obviously, skill is very important too. Like, you can't have just knowledge, but like it takes more than just being good at jiu-jitsu for me to want to promote you. Like, you have to be a good training partner. Like, I don't want to promote you if you're not a good training partner, and because then that looks bad on me, and like what I deem is important for the culture of the gym. So like I've had to have talks like that with people before, where I'm like, hey, like, you know, if that's not really what you're looking for, that's fine. There's tons of gyms. And I tell people up front, even like when they are thinking about signing up, I'm like, hey, like, you know, you try a free class or whatever, but like, you know, there's also free classes at tons of gyms. I'd recommend do some research. And I end up getting a lot of like educated consumers, I feel like, because of that. Like, I don't really get random people walking off the street who are like, oh, it's jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, every once in a while, but like, they're not really like your number one customer. The number one customer for me is someone who's like put some research into what jiu-jitsu is, and like they kind of already know what it is, and maybe they've trained at other gyms before, they've popped in at classes elsewhere, so they have something to compare it to. And if someone doesn't, and I'm like the first gym they've ever been to, like, you know, if they want to sign up, they want to sign up. But I also tell them, like, you should also try another gym to see, because maybe that vibe is going to be better for you. And that's fine. That's just like how business works. You know, it's just different business owners run their business how they see accordingly, because it's their business, you know. But that's just how I like to run my business. Like, you know, everyone's going to be pretty tight knit. Everyone's going to train with everybody. Like, you should be able to train with people much smaller than you, to some degree, obviously. Like, if you're a 300-pound guy, you probably don't need to be rolling with a 120-pound girl in class. But like for me, I'm like 180, 185. I can roll with people smaller than me, people bigger than me, and like, it's fine. Like, we're not going to get hurt. And that's what you want. And that's the kind of environment that I strive for in the gyms. Like, people feel safe. People feel like, you know, we're trying to actually get better. And it feels like safe physically, but also like mentally, like you're not walking on eggshells. Like, you don't need to like tie your belt facing away from me type shit, or like call me like grandmaster or type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you can just call me Muhammad. You can call me coach if you want to, you know what I mean? But like, there's no like weird title you got to call me. And that's okay if you want to run your gym like that, but it's like, it's just going to give off a different vibe. And I don't want to give off that vibe. I want people to know, like, I am just a dude. I'm just a guy teaching you how to fight other guys on the floor. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not that serious.
What's like the most difficult, or what are the things you see? I'm assuming you have like a decent number of guys that are like brand new white belts. I know you said that's not like the typical client.
I have a good bit of like new white belts though. Yeah.
What's like the number one thing that is most difficult to train out of someone like off of the street in jiu-jitsu?
Just controlling their breathing and pacing. That's usually like the hardest part for most people when they first start, because it's like easy for you to want to go balls to the wall in like a 1 minute situational round. And then you realize we're going to do like 5 or 6 of them, and you're like, you know what I mean? So I usually like will give people a guideline. Something that I try to do as well. It's like, if you have to try harder than like 60%, it's like your technique sucks. Just focus on that then. And obviously there's a time and place for competitive rounds, but like, we're just talking generally right now for like learning and skill development. So like a good rule of thumb I use is like breathing through my nose. If I have to breathe through my mouth constantly and like take big, deep breaths, it's like I'm probably using too much energy. Let me slow things down, focus on breathing, control my breathing through my nose, and like have better like nasal breathing through my stomach. And it kind of calms you down a little bit more. You're more likely to like make the right choice. Or if you don't, you like will take note of it, and you're like, all right, I did this wrong. Let me ask the coach afterwards what I should be doing here. Like, that's something I try to do, because if you're going really fast, it's hard to even know what's going on sometimes. So when you go to try to recreate it and try to learn from it, it's like, it's kind of hard. You're like at 100% like fight or flight mode, so it's hard to really recall it. But if you slowed it down, you'll be able to recall it more, and maybe you even make the right decision. And then that stops you from, you know, building bad habits, and then also too of like possibly injuring yourself or others. And that's not necessarily like just a new person thing. Like, I know people who've been training for a while. I've had that issue for a while where I was just going too hard and just like not getting better, and also just injuring myself just from going too hard. And like a lot of that can be like how like the culture is brought up in the gym, because people inherently do it, I feel like, when they're new. And if the culture is like go hard every day, it almost like encourages that. And then that's not really the best for learning and like longevity, in my opinion. So like, it's important for me as the coach to like make people aware of it. Cause like some gyms are like, oh, you just beat them up and go harder. But it's like, that's not really teaching them anything. That's very autistic of you to do that. Like, it's just talk to them as an adult and be like, hey, you got to just calm down. It's okay. Like, if they get mad because I told them they need to relax, it's like, well, they probably weren't going to be a student that was going to enjoy training here in the first place. So that solved itself. Either they're going to adapt, or they're just going to not like it and they're just going to go train somewhere else. And that's fine. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like how I try to like do it culture wise. And that's kind of like one of the harder parts for newer people is slowing down because, like I said, like it's very innate to want to just go harder.
This problem will get resolved if I just put more effort into it.
Yeah, and even like I have newer white belts that'll still sometimes do it to some degree, but like, dude, they've only been training for a few months, and it's like they're picking up a lot faster because they started to like listen when I said like slow things down, and they would pick things up at an exponentially faster rate than if they just try to go super hard all the time. And they're also way less likely to get injured. And it's like that's the biggest thing is like I don't want like injuries to happen all the time. It's like if we can avoid it, let's avoid it. It's already inherently dangerous what we're doing. Let's kind of reduce that risk, especially in training.
Let's not make it more dangerous, more likely that people get fucked up and don't get to train. And
exactly. So I think that's like a big part of it.
There's probably a lot of, I mean, I have no idea what the white belt attrition rate is, but I bet a ton of people that stop training at white belt, it's because they get hurt at white belt from some like fucking white belt, like all out war. And then they're like, okay, I don't think this is for me. Like I did this for 4 months and I got my fucking elbow popped.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And I think like being overwhelmed because jiu-jitsu is very overwhelming. It's just like when you first start off, it feels like there's a million different things and million positions. Like really there's not. There's only so many positions, only so many submissions. Whereas like when you first start, it's sometimes not taught from like an end game approach. And that's something that I've tried to do now in teaching is like teaching backwards. So like my coach Sean, he does this really well. Is like he'll teach end game first. So like how to like really the most important thing you should learn in jiu-jitsu first is a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
And learn back mount and then work backwards from there. So in two ways. One, you understand how to finish. Because if you can get to the back, like think about how many street fights you've seen people get behind people and like they know it's something good, but they don't know how to finish. So they don't finish. But if you can just get that finish and understand that end game and then work backwards from there, and then it teaches you a few different things. One, like how to finish. Two, that everything's kind of a pit stop on the way. Like think about how you defend a lot of submissions or positions. Like a lot of times you inherently turn your back and give up your back. But it's because you didn't want to get pinned down or you didn't want to get arm barred or you didn't want to get leg locked. So you turned and exposed your back. So everything's going to funnel to that back mount position, especially if someone's good. Like you're going to have to eventually probably take their back and choke them. That's like the most high percentage thing. So if you can start from there and then fill in the gaps, otherwise you're like, why are we here in mount? Why are we here in back mount? Why are we here in slow? What's the point of all this? There's no context. So it teaches you that, how to work backwards. And then also too, it's a lot safer to start from more controlled positions when you're newer than to like start standing. Standing is like the most dangerous thing to practice because you could just fall weird and break your leg. Dude,
fall wrong. Like it can. Yeah.
Seriously, I had someone who he was like a much bigger guy. He was older and he was just getting back into jiu-jitsu. It was like a long time ago at a different gym. And he did like military combatives or something. And I was like, all right, cool. Like when we get to sparring, like, you know, it's your first day back. Like maybe don't spar your first day back. And like, how long has it been since he's trained? He's like, oh, it's been like 20 years. And I was like, man, maybe don't. You know what I mean? And he was a much bigger guy. And it's like, that's like, you know, it's a lot of stress on your joints if you fall weird. And he was like, nah, man, I'll be fine. And I was like, man, I really don't think you should. Like, just for your own safety. Like, I'm a professional in this. And I'm going to tell you this right now, my professional opinion. Today, probably just do technique, maybe situationals, maybe. And then probably just don't do regular sparring. And he was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I was like, all right, man, you're an adult. Do what you want then. And I said that. I was like, if you get hurt, it's not my problem because you said it. And damn, I guess I manifested that shit because he was rolling someone and he was on his knees and someone made him like post his arm out and he dislocated his shoulder. It wasn't even like crazy. I watched it happen. It was just like, it was a very like mild post.
Posted weird and popped.
And just dislocated his shoulder. And then he started freaking out. And the owner was like, dude, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, I told him, I think I'm such an asshole. I think I was like, maybe we can build a time machine. He can go back and listen to me when I said, don't roll. I had an attitude just because I was like, I told him for like 3 minutes straight, like I'm arguing with a grown man. I'm like, don't do it before class. And then when it gets to rolling, he's like, I'm still going to roll. And I was like, all right, man, I told you not to, but do what you want to do. And then he hurt himself in like the first 10 seconds. And then, yeah, I said what I said, but build that time machine, go back and fucking listen to me, dummy. How about that, dude? But
boom, solved your problem.
Yeah, exactly. And then they were like, oh, well, like someone, like, I think like someone who was like a doctor at the time helped. And they tried to ask me, and I was like, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what you want me to do with a dislocated shoulder, especially after I told you to not roll. So he ended up at, like going to a hospital somewhere, getting his shoulder fixed. He never came back. But also, too, it's like I tried what I could. So, yeah, like I feel like safety has got to be number one. Otherwise, like, you know, you're going to get injured, you can't train, and you're going to end up like that guy. You get injured on your first day, essentially. So I'll start in like more controlled positions and work backwards so you can build off of these like principles, like understand structures, like how to frame, how to like understand inside space of the limbs, weight distribution, posture. So that way when we go to stand up, it's like you already kind of understand what we're trying to do. Like I'll, in a theoretical, like perfect scenario curriculum, because I don't think those exist, because the reason why is because like the average student isn't going to come to every class. So if you think they're going to get I've tried this in several different gyms, several different scenarios. Like every once in a while you get a student who's there every class and they get everything perfectly, like all 10 classes, and then they can move on or whatever. But the average student doesn't. So if you have a rotating curriculum, it's kind of hard for everyone to get exactly what they need. So usually I just teach throughout the week, like the same stuff fundamentally that everyone needs to work on, that are the most consistent people in the class. Because if you're not the most consistent, then anything's going to help you. But the most consistent people that on average, what they all need from all belt levels, fundamentally, they'll start there and build from there. That's how I like to teach. But in like a perfect curriculum sense, it would be like from back mount to side mount to guard or a half guard, like closed, open type guard, all the way to stand up. So that way you kind of run through all the different scenarios, and we go into like submission chains throughout then. And you kind of build off of that. And that way, once you get to stand up, you already have an idea of how things work. So you're less likely to get hurt. You could still definitely get hurt. And like, you have to teach people break falls and how to fall properly, and how to take people down properly so they don't like slam each other and post their arms weird, stuff like that. But that's how I like to preferably teach. And that's something I've learned from Sean. Something I've read about from other people too. There's a guy named Joshua Waitskins. He's a Marcelo Garcia black belt, and he's got this book, I believe it's called The Art of Learning. He's like a really good chess player. You know, there's that parallel between chess and jiu-jitsu. I fucking suck at chess, so I don't get it. But
Chess is fun.
I'm glad you think so. I suck at it, so I hate it. And I'm just kidding.
I love it, and I still suck at it.
Nice.
So.
It is fun. I try it every now and then. It's really like and so this goes back to what I'm saying. Like, I'll get to the end of chess and I'm like, all right, it's time to checkmate. And it's like, I can't get the checkmate. And it's like, fuck, I hate this game. It's like, you know what I mean? I get into that like lull of like, it's like almost like in a sub only tournament, and a guy just shows up and you're trying to sub him and he's like doing everything. And you're like, I'm not good enough to like figure this out.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what I'm trying to avoid with my students, essentially, if I can, like start from the end game and work backwards. So if you do get these good positions, you know how to actually make it count. Because if you can just pass someone's guard a million times, but you can't hold them down and sub them, and it's like, well, what's the point?
That makes sense.
So that was like something I learned from Sean, and I've seen from other people, like how they thought about it. And I feel like that helped me a lot as a competitor and like a practitioner, but also just as an instructor, how I break it down for people. Because I feel like we talked about, like jiu-jitsu is very overwhelming. So if you can kind of give them a little, like, I don't want to say like, what's that thing that people love it. It's like a flow chart.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I think that's true to some degree, but it's like really just a framework, because your flow chart is going to look different than my flow chart. Mm-hmm. But we have the same framework. Like, we all have to use mount and side mount and back mount to some degree in their variants. So if we can like build that framework and give you fundamental principles to build on and concepts, and then you can just take that and apply it in your game, will look a little different than mine, but fundamentally it's based on the same stuff. And that's going to be the most higher percentage. And that's like what I try to do when teaching, not just for getting better faster, but then also for safety. Because like, if your first class is takedowns, it's like, I mean, you could be totally safe. I've had that happen with people. And it's like, but also too, like, you are more likely to get injured.
Dude, even if you know what you're doing on takedowns, it's like, I came so close to blowing my knee out. Also, like, if you have any sort of like time and you got to bounce, just let me know.
Yeah, I have to leave in a minute, actually.
No worries, dude. I don't even know how long. Yeah, we've been down here for a fucking hot minute.
Yeah.
I literally thought that I was almost blew my knee out doing stand up, and it literally wasn't anything either of us did wrong. I stepped in, like, we were like, I can't even remember what it was. I think we were in like some sort of over under. I had like a Russian time. I don't remember, but I like stepped where there was like a sweat puddle, and I felt my knee buckle, and I was like, I'm going to sit down now.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know why I'm doing this shit.
Yeah, takedowns are inherently more dynamic. And, like, I think some people don't understand that. Like, there's a reason why there's not really, like, absolute weight divisions in wrestling. It's, like, it's inherently more dynamic, and, like, there's more – people can produce more power from their feet compared to, like, on their butt or on their back. And it's, like, it's a very different world.
And also watching white belts break fall, like brand new white belts break fall, it's terrifying.
Well, you can be a black world champion and not know how to break fall, like Marigali.
This is true. And
it's a great place to end that.
Yeah, that's a perfect ending. All right, Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dallas.
Also, any sort of like plug. I mean, not like this thing is gonna have like thousands and thousands of views,
Shit,
but like
you never
I get 100 or 200 sometimes.
Hey, that's something, yeah.
But
That's better than me.
yeah, Kazushi Club, your Instagram. What is it? Habibi 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
Habibi.jitsu 10p, and then Instagram is Kazushi Club ATL. And that's my gym in Smyrna. We're inside a World Gym. We're right off South Cobb Drive. So if you want to come train, come train. And then I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Nation Athletic. You know Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I fucking
uncle.
love Mark.
Yeah, that's my uncle, dude. We look alike, dude. One time I saw a picture of someone posting of us, and it was him rolling with one of my students. And I was like, I don't remember rolling with that guy. And then I would look closer. I was like, oh, that's fucking Mark. I was like, damn, dude. I'm getting up there. But that's my boy, Mark. I love Mark Sharma. And then Game Day Men's Health. I'm sponsored by them. They're in like Buckhead, like Atlanta Midtown area. They're a men's health clinic. So they got peptides, TRT, all that good stuff. Ozempic, trying to get that body right.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm about to hop on Ozempic. That sounds fun.
Hop on everything, dude. Why not?
Fuck it. Ozempic and TRT. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's go.
So shout out to them and my coach, Sean Applegate, all my teammates in Atlanta for beat my ass. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me on, dude.
This is awesome. Fun as fuck. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.